This smells silver oud. Huge kind of birch tar, smoky, kind of woody. Very smoky. And a little bit funky. It's got a little bit of funk to it. Reckless leather is quite green in the opening. And a kind of dirty kind of leather. I'm not a fan of that one. Is it okay if I film? I have a YouTube channel that talks about fragrances, you see. Is it okay? Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. This one is Wood Symphony. Very soft, smooth. I've just smelled Boundless for the first time. No, sorry, not Boundless, Overture. So people told me to check out Overture. I'm going to spray it on skin. It's quite fresh in the opening. I was expecting something more animalic and kind of dirty, but I don't get that from the top. Maybe a little bit of a funky musk. Some soft spices. Definitely a freshness in the top. I'll see how it goes on skin. I have a YouTube channel that talks about fragrances, you see. I'm like a perfume reviewer. So when I go through the airports, I like to make the most of it. Thank you. So we're going to smell some Panhaligans. It kind of smells a little bit like the colour. Watery and kind of woody. A little bit fresh, a little bit sweet. Halfeti cedar. That's quite light. I don't mind it. It'd be nice if it had a bit more grain and bite to it. It's kind of subtle. Let's go back to the amouage in my hand. The amouage kind of feels, and I put it on my wrist, that's why. The amouage does have a little bit of a funk to it, but not as crazy as I thought it did. They've got Initio, and there's no tester strips. Musk Therapy. Kind of light, fresh, bright top note. One called Rehab. That's interesting. Reminds me of something. Gonna have a smell of the new Memo Leather fragrances and I'll let you know how they go. I've just sprayed Sicilian Leather. And as you might expect from the name, it's a little bit citrusy fresh on the top. Quite pleasant. We're gonna try Moroccan Leather next. Is empty. Oh no. From the atomizer. Maybe a little bit dirty kind of leather. Let's try Tiger's Nest. Sugar. Tiger's Nest, I think I've smelled this before. It's frankincense-y, incensey. Kind of sweet, spicy frankincense. It's quite nice. If you like frankincense, then I would try Tiger's Nest. Okay, we're gonna try Sintra. Wow, white floral. Big old jasmine. This one's called Flam. It has a boat on it, so you'd think it would be oceanic. Let me show you. It's kind of bland. I wouldn't say that's... It doesn't give me ocean vibes. Not like the bottle image. Okay, let's keep looking around. I was hoping they had the Chanel exclusives, but they don't. They only have the Dior exclusives. And I'm not a fan of the Dior exclusives. I have smelled all of them. I'm not partial to any of them, to be honest. Both Montel and Mancera on the same shelf. I've got to be honest, I'm not a fan of Montel bottles. They're so cheap. It feels lightweight, cheap, thin. Worse than a deodorant bottle, to be honest. I'm not a fan. I like a bit of weight. I've just sprayed Black Musk. I am not a fan. Let's try Pure Love. Feels sweet. Obviously musky, sweety, maybe a little bit of blonde wood, like sandalwood. Not very interesting, to be honest. Let's try Rose's Musk. The bottles are so lightweight. That's subtle, you get a more slightly pink rose and a kind of neutral musk. Very airy. A little bit more feminine. Okay, we're gonna try Aquawood by Montel. I've smelled a few from Montel, and I don't find them appealing, to be honest. Aquawood is terrible. I mean, it's like the name suggests, I suppose, if that's your thing, maybe. It's very light. It's just synthetic woods with a little bit of a slightly aquatic, musky kind of vibe. Let's try red tobacco. Apologies if I look awful, I've been travelling a long time. That gives me a headache. Very synthetic. Very soft.
How are you?
Hi buddy, good.
Good.
You don't mind if I film a little bit?
Yeah, no problem.
It's okay.
No, it's all right. No.
I have a YouTube channel where I talk about perfumes, so I kind of make the most of when I pass through. These are harder to find in the UK. They don't have them as often. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. What's your channel?
FragranceView. View like as you look, like FragranceView.
FragranceView.
Yeah, yeah. If you put that in YouTube, you'd find it. So this is like the niche line, I guess, of Carolina Herrera. The bottles are quite nice. I have smelled them before, but we'll give it another go. Burning Rose. It says black pepper, labdanum and rose. I'd say that's pretty accurate. A little bit of a spicy rose. It's okay, I don't love it. Let's check out Oud. Oud Couture. Rose, saffron and oud. Smells quite Middle Eastern. And more heavily on the synthetic side. It's not kind of my... although you can smell the saffron, it's good. The oud smells very cheap synthetic. Oud obviously. Pinch of rose. Nice hit of saffron. The saffron's nice. Let's try Amber Desire. This is vanilla, incense and labdanum. That one's nice, I like that one. A slightly boozy vanilla. Trouble is there's so many good vanilla fragrances. It's interesting this is called Amber Desire instead of Vanilla Desire. It's more vanilla-y. I wouldn't recommend it over other vanilla fragrances, there's so many good ones, but that's quite nice. Okay, we're going to try this one, it's called Sandal Ruby. So this has notes of black pepper, tuberose and sandalwood. Oh god, you get the tuberose. I'm not a fan of tuberose. You'd need to like the white florals to enjoy that one. Yeah, that's not for me. I'm not a fan of tuberose personally in that like up front. Next one is called Iris Empire. This has notes of leather, benzoin, and iris. That's quite nice. A little bit more on the cosmetic, powdery side. Smells more like a synthetic iris. Reminds me of something along the lines of Oris Jivko by Givaudan or something. Pleasant, I don't mind it. Let's try Bronze Tonka. This one's got notes of sandalwood, tonka bean, and oud apparently. That's got another Middle Eastern kind of vibe. A little bit punchy, a little bit sharp. Smells a little bit spiced to me, but there's no spices listed. Kind of an obnoxious kind of synthetic oud thing going on. Even the tonka accord doesn't smell natural, it smells like synthetic tonka. I'm not a fan of that. It's, oh, I think I need a break now. That's burned my nose out. I just want to come back to Overture, man, because I sprayed it on like 20 minutes ago and it's been drying down. It's getting a little bit smoky. Almost smoky, leathery, I would say. Dirty leather, smoke. I don't quite get the hype on that one, to be honest. I'm not digging it. It has kind of butyl quinoline kind of vibes, that kind of dirty, slightly animalic leather. So kind of a bit rough, with kind of dirty nuances to it. Interesting. I expected something completely different from that one, to be honest. Interesting. Search and Purpose are two new ones which I have never smelled, so we'll give that a go. Fresh, a little citrusy, frankincense. It's like fresh citrusy frankincense. Kind of has vibes of something like Acqua di Parma almost. I can imagine that in maybe an Atelier des Ors as well, in the summer collection that they have. This is Purpose, this is the other new one. I don't know what any of the notes are for these. I'm getting something like a little bit more woody, still frankincense. That one's nicer. I prefer Purpose to Search. I'm getting frankincense, woods, maybe a pinch of spice. That one's quite nice, quite incensey, but natural incensey, more frankincense incense. That's quite nice. If you like incense perfumes, maybe you'll dig that one, but there's like we just smelled one by Memo that's like massively frankincense. Amouage Enclave, I've never smelled this one either. That's my least favourite. That's kind of odd actually, it's a bit weird. How do you describe that? There's an unusual sweetness, something a little bit dirty in the background. Spicy, musky, resinousy. This is like a more funky frankincense. The hint of that sweetness, whatever the sweetness is a bit unusual in this. Purpose is definitely my favourite. Maybe a little bit earthy as well. I prefer Purpose to Overture. I smell royal tobacco. It's quite light, kind of fresh. I like the bottles. I think the matte finish bottle, like the stone matte finish, is very nice. I need to wear these on skin to get a good opinion. Obviously, this is very first impressions. From the new ones, of these new kind of collection of these kind of bottles, I'm not really taken with any of them. I was expecting it, like the name Royal Tobacco, something kind of rich, opulent. I kind of don't get that. It's kind of soft, mellow. It doesn't have an impact. But also doesn't smell like amazing quality. It smells kind of average. It doesn't smell like super luxury, if that makes sense, as you would think of like royalty or whatever. Enclave is weird. It's got that kind of a very odd smell to it. Purpose is definitely my preferred one. Although that's getting a little bit smoky now. I don't get why people love Overture so much. Smoky, leathery, musky. I'm not kind of digging that personally. Okay, we'll keep looking. Oh, sir, is it okay if I film a little bit? Thank you, sir. I've smelled them all already, but I just... Okay, so I have smelled the new cherry ones. Cherry Smoke is my favourite. I'm not the biggest fan of cherry in general. Let me remind myself. Electric Cherry, I think, is the newest one. It's kind of fresher and lighter. Still with a cherry kind of vibe, but it's more subtle and just a bit more fresh. Cherry Smoke was the kind of the richest, kind of darkest one. This is more like a cherry kind of, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Liqueur? Cherry liqueur? Kind of thick, dark, syrupy cherry. I like that one the most, I would say, but in general, I'm not digging the new ones. Guamora Cane I smelled a little while ago. Very kind of cedar woody. I wore Ebony Fume on the way here on the plane. It's still on my hand. She was telling me that it's got Palo Santo in, but it dried down. Very synthetic with this kind of a grating kind of sweetness, which I wasn't a fan of. So I don't like Ebony Fume. I wore Oud Wood on my other hand. It's okay. I don't mind it. It smelled less like a hamster cage this time, which is interesting. I might spray this one on now, so I smell a little bit fresh, because it's hot in Dubai. I don't mind Mandarino di Amalfi, it's quite nice. I kind of prefer my Acqua di Parmas though, to be honest. Those are quite expensive, $180 for a 30 ml. Wow, that's quite expensive. Let's smell it. Let me find some tester strips. Okay, we're gonna try this designer shake. Men 77. Trying to see it on the. Okay, this is $222. Oh dear. I would be very disappointed if I spent that much money on it. Kind of slightly fresh, slightly sweet, musky, but with a Middle Eastern twist. It's got like a Middle Eastern kind of musky vibe. I don't like it personally. It's not my cup of tea. The smell is subtle though. It's light, it's watery, it's musky. There might be like a pinch of some woods or oud in there maybe. There's something in the background that's just a little bit kind of funky to it. I'm not a fan. They come in cool boxes. Okay, my GoPro is overheating. It's turning itself off. I'm going to smell velvet amber. A little sweet, vanilla-y. Subtly sweet amber. Nothing to rave about. I've smelled a lot of them previously in the last few years, and there wasn't any that kind of stood out to me worth like raving about, so to speak. I wouldn't say they're bad, they're just not that brilliant, if I'm being diplomatic. I've just been smelling the Dolce & Gabbana, and this one, which is called Velvet Incenso, reminds me of what we just smelled with Amouage, with the frankincense range. A slightly kind of fresh, spicy frankincense. So I can think of three now: the Memo Paris one, this one, and the Amouage, all very heavy on the frankincense. And all, to be honest, kind of similar. This is a little bit sweeter. This is more sweetened frankincense. But it seems to be a trend at the moment, these frankincense heavy fragrances. So the store here isn't that huge. Oh, there's got Creed. I didn't even notice Creed. The store isn't that big, and we kind of smelled everything. We all know what Creed smells like, so I shall not stop here. It's a shame I didn't film that, to be honest. Just had a nice chat with a couple of sales assistants talking about oud. So, Hugo Boss Le Parfum. Okay, Hugo Boss, the scent Magnetic. I'm not a fan of the sweetness. And then the Absolute version, it's quite soft. Let me respray it. I can't get excited about these, I'll be honest. I don't get why people like this kind of perfume. It smells like every kind of department store, kind of general kind of fragrance. That's not my kind of thing. No. Sorry. I can't get behind those. They're not my taste. I appreciate they're popular. It's just not my taste. Okay, so we're done for today. I'm gonna head to McDonald's and get some French fries because I'm hungry, and then I'm gonna wait for my final flight to India. So thanks for watching.